Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, we'll explore another distressing case together, a case of Sabrina Quieter, a horrifying crime in an upscale London neighborhood. Compulsive thoughts are a mental disorder characterized by intrusive ideas and actions that occur against a person's will, trapping them in a mental struggle. In severe cases, these thoughts can dominate the mind, especially when combined with manipulative tendencies, inherent cruelty, and a manic desire for control, creating a volatile situation. Sabrina Quieter, a British woman, had every opportunity to achieve the fabulous, rich, and carefree life she dreamed of from a young age. However, it was never sufficient for her. No partner met her standards, and she perpetually felt destined for fame, attention, and luxury. Her unfulfilled ambitions and obsessive fantasies eventually spiraled into delusions, coupled with bouts of violence. Tragically, Sabrina found a defenseless man upon whom she vented all her anger. This case became one of the most heinous and high-profile incidents in British history. An innocent woman, devoted to her children, became the victim of a deranged sadist, Sabrina Quieter. Sabrina, born on December 5, 1982, in a London suburb, had a unique blend of French and Algerian heritage from her parents. This distinctive mix likely contributed to her striking appearance and fiery temperament. As the eldest of 4 children, Sabrina was constantly praised and held up as a role model. At the age of 2, her family immigrated to France, settling in Paris, where she spent most of her childhood and youth. Sabrina's complex character began to manifest during her school years. Former classmates later recalled her as arrogant, domineering, self-absorbed, and extremely selfish. She had few friends, considering those around her unworthy of her time. To her, other bright and outgoing girls were particularly hostile, seen as competitors and enemies. Despite her stunning looks, a striking brunette with brown eyes and an impressive figure, Sabrina could have pursued a career in modeling if she could connect with others instead of manipulating them. Active in sports and showing some interest in music during her youth, her inconsistency, impatience for quick result, and lack of effort hindered her success in any field. Sabrina claimed to have experienced harsh treatment from her maternal relatives in France during her early years, although these claims were never substantiated. On the contrary, her family insisted that she was indulged and always sought attention. As a teenager active in sports, Sabrina suffered a back injury, leading to a dependence on prescription painkillers. Her attempt to obtain these drugs illegally resulted in her arrest and a police warning. Throughout her life, Sabrina remained intensely focused on herself and her appearance, craving constant attention. She was convinced that her future held a wealthy and glamorous life, filled with celebrity interactions and her own stardom. Sometimes, it seemed her fantasies clouded her reality, as she believed her rightful place was in Hollywood. Sabrina graduated from the Sorbonne with a degree in English and French literature. However, since 2006, she claimed various roles in the fashion industry, such as a stylist, makeup artist, fashion designer, or just a designer. Despite lacking real expertise in these areas, Sabrina, known for her stunning looks, had a penchant for captivating men and exploiting their affection. However, she never saw any of her suitors as worthy of a serious relationship. She was waiting for a prince who would completely obey her. After finishing school, Sabrina was still unclear about her life goals, feeling entitled to everything without effort. Nevertheless, she enrolled at the prestigious Sorbonne University and simultaneously worked at a sweet shop for financial support. It was there, at the age of 18, that she met Wissam Medouni, 6 years her senior. Medouni was a manager at a major French company's head office and studied at one of Paris's most prestigious universities. Despite not being particularly handsome, part of elite clubs, or in the celebrity circle, he fell deeply in love with Sabrina, and was willing to fulfill all her whims and fancies. Sabrina, in turn, found Medini appealing, seeing him as someone she could manipulate, but also as a ticket to embarking on a journey fueled by the allure of wealth and a luxurious life. Sabrina Quieter's narrative unfolds as a compelling saga of ambition, tumultuous relationships, and a relentless pursuit of fame and opulence. The stage was set in the year 2000, when Sabrina, a woman with dreams as vast as the cosmos, crossed paths with Wissam Medwi, a man whose ambition and potential for career success promised to shower her with affluence. The couple, drawn together by the magnetic pull of love, commenced their romantic journey. Within mere months, they took the plunge and decided to share their lives by moving in together. Little did Wissam know that beneath Sabrina's enchanting exterior lurked a tempest of control, manipulation, and, at times, even physical violence. Her demands became a battleground for their relationship, with tantrums and manipulations becoming her chosen weapons. As if a storm were brewing within her, Sabrina not only sought to dominate every aspect of Wissam's life, but also engaged in open acts of infidelity. Her actions were brazen, indifferent to concealment or justification. From fleeting liaisons with random acquaintances to betraying the trust of Wissam's closest friends and colleagues, Sabrina's unbridled pursuit of desires left a trail of emotional wreckage in its wake. Despite Wissam's multiple attempts to extricate himself from this tumultuous relationship, he found himself ensnared by the chains of love, even as he achieved a significant milestone in his life by obtaining a master's degree and securing a substantial promotion in 2001. His newfound success served as both a blessing and a curse. He lavished Sabrina with opulent gifts, from luxurious clothing to extravagant entertainment, and managed his family's properties in Paris, channeling all rental income towards her insatiable desires. The narrative takes an intriguing turn in the fall of 2001, as reports suggest that Sabrina and Wissam entered into a special Muslim ceremony, witnessed by a certificate from the Argento Mosque. However, this religious ceremony proved insufficient to confer legal status upon their union. The couple welcomed a son, and Wissam officially recognized his paternity. Yet, the complexities of Sabrina's life did not end there. A French man named Anthony Francois later claimed paternity, adding a layer of uncertainty and discord to their familial bonds. The year 2008 marked a pivotal juncture for Sabrina and Wissam. The global financial crisis wreaked havoc on Wissam's company, leading to bankruptcy and the subsequent loss of his high-paying job. In the midst of these challenges, Sabrina had developed an unwavering fixation on relocating to London, a city synonymous with new beginnings and financial opportunities. The move unfolded with Sabrina taking the lead, leaving Wissam with little choice but to follow her to London. While Wissam secured employment in a major English bank, Sabrina grappled with establishing herself in the competitive realm of the fashion industry. Her aspirations to become a designer, model, or makeup artist were thwarted by a lack of skills, experience, and formal education in these fields. Despite these setbacks, Sabrina adapted, taking on various roles, including working as a nanny, in a call center, a cafe, and even trying her hand at network marketing. The quest for love took a poignant turn when Sabrina, fueled by a rekindled passion for music, crossed paths with Mark Walton in the music industry. Mark, a renowned musician, songwriter, and former member of the Irish boy band Boyzone, had transitioned into a successful producer and music mogul. By 2016, his net worth had soared to $1 billion, making him the embodiment of Sabrina's dreams. Impressed by Sabrina's beauty and charisma, Mark was captivated and openly admitted to falling in love at first sight. The relationship progressed swiftly, and Sabrina, seeing a promising future with Mark, expediently ended her relationship with Wissam. The lovers moved into a luxurious house in an upscale area of London, with Mark generously shouldering all expenses, from rent to Sabrina's couture clothing. Yet, Sabrina's insatiable desires and manipulative tendencies resurfaced, challenging the stability of their opulent life. Despite Mark indulging her with designer clothes, jewelry, and high-end outings, it was never enough. The home they shared became a battleground for Sabrina's jealousy, her demands escalating with time. As we unravel the intricate layers of Sabrina Quieter's life, we encounter a woman whose pursuit of a glamorous existence entangled those around her in a web of tumultuous relationships, legal entanglements, and an unending thirst for a life that seemed forever just out of reach. Her journey, marked by highs and lows, serves as a cautionary tale of the consequences that can arise from an unrestrained pursuit of wealth, fame, and a life of luxury. Maintained the appearance of affluence, intensified her grip on the household, escalating tensions and creating a hostile environment. Sabrina's paranoia reached new heights, and this toxic atmosphere took a toll on the household staff and nannies, resulting in a high turnover rate. Her irrational fear that employees were either stealing from her or attempting to seduce Mark created an atmosphere of suspicion and instability. The breaking point arrived in 2011, when Mark Walton decided to end the relationship and left for California, leaving Sabrina with nothing. This abrupt departure shattered the lavish lifestyle Sabrina had enjoyed, prompting her to resort to desperate measures. She began giving interviews accusing Mark of cruel violence and substance abuse, employing emotional manipulation tactics such as crying, begging for his return, and even threatening self-harm. Despite these efforts, Mark remained steadfast in his decision. Facing the harsh reality of her loss, Sabrina turned to her ex-partner, Wissam Mounir, whose career had flourished as a bank executive. Mounir, still harboring feelings for Sabrina, forgave her and welcomed her back into his life. Shortly after their reunion, Sabrina discovered she was pregnant, and this time, the potential father was uncertain. Reaching out to Mark Walton, Sabrina informed him of the pregnancy. Despite Mark's willingness to provide financial support, he insisted on a paternity test to confirm his fatherhood. Sabrina, reluctant to undergo the test, hinted at her uncertainty about the child's paternity. Refusing to agree to the test, she demanded a doubling of the proposed allowance, sparking a war of accusations on social media. Sabrina spread false claims that Mark was obsessed with her, insanely jealous of Mounir, and physically threatening them. She accused him of breaking into their home, assaulting Mounir, scaring the children, and engaging in unnatural forms of sexual assault. However, unable to substantiate her claims, Sabrina faced a defamation lawsuit from Mark. When the police threatened action against her, she temporarily ceased her accusations, settling in Wimbledon, southwest London, with Mounir and their 2 children. Sabrina appeared to lead a seemingly quiet life. However, her need for household help led her to hire a French nanny, Sophie. Naive and eager to gain experience, Sophie became the latest addition to the household. Initially, things seemed to go well for Sophie, who believed working for the Quers would be an excellent start to her nanny career. Bonding with the children and managing household chores, Sophie enjoyed a peaceful period of several months. However, problems arose when Mounir lost his job, and the family faced financial struggles. Sabrina's demand for increased support from Mark, coupled with his request for a DNA test, exacerbated the family's financial issues. Sophie, caught in the crossfire of Sabrina's manipulations and the family's financial woes, experienced a stark shift in her once harmonious work environment. The promise of a stable job turned into a challenging ordeal as Sabrina's desperation to maintain appearances strained relationships within the household. The stage was set for a turbulent chapter in Sophie Leon's life, unwittingly caught in the tumultuous web woven by Sabrina Quaider. To such a heinous crime, Sabrina Quaider's desperate attempts to maintain her socialite lifestyle took a dark turn as financial struggles intensified. She became irritable and aggressive, frequently venting her anger on the young nanny, Sophie Leon. In a last-ditch effort to salvage their financial situation, the couple tried to start a bakery business, but it failed, pushing Sabrina to seek financial assistance from Mark Walton for her clothing line. However, Walton's refusal led to tears and complaints about poverty. Facing dire circumstances, Sabrina often complained to Sophie about her ex-lover, Mark. In one version, Sabrina conceived a plan to use Sophie as a tool for blackmailing Walton. She intended to portray Sophie as Walton's accomplice and lover, planted in their home to disrupt their lives and endanger the children. Sabrina believed that recording Sophie's confessions on tape or video would be sufficient evidence to demand compensation from Walton. However, Sophie refused to give false statements on camera. In another version presented by Quaider's lawyers, it was suggested that due to her mental disorder, Sabrina genuinely believed in her conspiracy theory, seeing Sophie as an enemy and a threat to her family. Regardless of the truth, Sophie's life turned into a nightmare in the basement of the wealthy home. Sophie, burdened with extra work and denied personal time, found herself imprisoned within the house walls. Her pay was halted, and her passport was confiscated to prevent her escape or return to France. The situation worsened as Sophie was barely fed, constantly pressured to make false statements against Walton, and endured physical abuse. In a strange visit to the police station in late summer 2017, Sabrina brought Sophie to testify against Mark Walton. Sophie remained silent, and the police, despite seeing her malnourished and weakened state, did not call for medical or psychological assistance. Sophie's final call to her mother in mid-September revealed her desire to return home, but she lacked the means. A few days later, on September 20, 2017, the Kerr's neighbors reported a fire in the yard, leading to the discovery of Sophie's charred remains. The couple was taken into custody, and evidence of video recordings depicting Sophie's torture and coerced confessions came to light. Determining the cause of Sophie Leon's death was challenging due to the extensive fire damage. Forensic experts found evidence of prolonged and brutal beatings, including multiple rib fractures, jaw cracks, and blunt force trauma. Sophie likely died from asphyxiation before being burned, sparing her from further agony. During the trial, Sabrina and Wem denied guilt and displayed no remorse. They were found guilty of torturing, humiliating, and murdering Sophie under aggravating circumstances. Sentenced to life imprisonment, they were eligible for parole only after 30 years. Despite continuous appeals, Sabrina's attempts to feign insanity were unsuccessful. Mark Walton, present at the trial, expressed guilt over his ex-lover's actions and offered condolences to Sophie's parents, providing substantial support to the grief-stricken family who had lost their beloved daughter to such a heinous crime. As we close the chapter on Sophie's agony, let this tragic tale serve as a poignant reminder of the devastating consequences wrought by manipulation and cruelty. May the memory of Sophie Leon endure as a symbol of the need for empathy and justice in the face of darkness. Thank you for joining us in unraveling this chilling narrative. Stay tuned for more gripping narrative. Subscribe to our channel to explore stories that resonate and foster understanding. Your support keeps these conversations alive. Thank you for being a part of our community.